First, we get the door, frame, and accessories. We prepare the installation tools. We first install the bracket plate on the door header. Then we install the motor mounting plate. Next, we get the screws and install the guide rails on both sides of the door. Then we install the bracket plate at the bottom of the guide rails. At this point, the door frame is installed. Then we stand the door upright, being careful, then fix the door frame to the wall. Here, it's a steel structure, and we're using regular screws. If it's a regular wall, you'll need expansion screws. Then fix the bottom of the guide rail to the ground. At this point, the door frame is fixed. Next, install the motor. First, let the flange connecting the motor and the door. If the motor is on the left side of the door, the flange is on the right side of motor. If the motor is on the right side of the door, the flange is on the left side of motor. Tighten the screws. Find the key, buffer pad, washer, and nut. First, install the washer. Then install the buffer pad. Then install the key, gently tapping it with a hammer. Rotate the motor to align the keyway with the key, then install the motor. Tighten the screws, making sure they are tightened similarly, not too tight. Over-tightening the screws will affect the motor's balance. Then get the encoder and motor wires. First, insert the magnet into the motor, paying attention to the mounting slot. Then use two screws to fix the encoder to the outside of the motor. Then connect the encoder wires. Then connect the motor wires. Finally, install the control box. The control box is usually 1.4 meters above the ground. Finally, we install the photoelectric sensor. The photoelectric sensor button is on the outside, and the sensor is 25 centimeters above the ground. Then we thread all the wires into the control box from the bottom port. First, we connect the motor wires, connecting to U1, V1, W1, and pay. Only the pay wire needs to be connected correctly. The other three wires do not need to be distinguished by their positions. Next, we connect the encoder wires, directly inserting them into the bottom connector and tightening the screws. Next, we connect the photoelectric sensor wires. There are 5 wires inside. The white wire does not need to be connected. Connect the brown wire to port 10, the black wire to port 9, and the blue and yellow wires together to port 11. Next, connect the radar wires, referring to the PDF document. Then connect the button wires, referring to the PDF document. Then we power on and test the function. First, we check the photoelectric sensor. If the red light is on, the photoelectric sensor is not aligned with the reflector. We can loosen the screws and adjust the position of the photoelectric sensor. Then we adjust the limit setting. Please refer to the PDF document. Finally, we test the machine's functions.